All right. Why do we have to meditate? Okay. Um, it is a must in Buddhism. Let's talk about the following topics. I'll talk about mind and body. Why exactly we have to do this? Types of meditation, and as well as what is samatha vis-a-vis vipassana. Let's start with the mind and body. The mind and body is our household. If this inner household is not in order, no outer household can be in order. The outer household refers to our interaction with the world around us. In the inner household, who is the master and who is the servant? Now, if the servant is strong, but the master is weak, the household cannot run smoothly and efficiently because the master has to direct the servant. However, if it was the other way round, the household will still be okay. Now, we see quotations like these all the time, isn't it? In fact, the first philosopher to point out the importance of the mind is actually the Buddha, right? He was born 600 years before the birth of Christ, BC. Yeah? We do not even need to learn Dharma to know that the mind is more important than the body. That's why we subscribe to the idea of mind over matter, never matter over mind. And what about this? Whenever the Buddha's disciples asked him to describe the world or tell them the origin of the world, the Buddha always referred to the world of experience or the world of mental formations. That is what we experience in the mind through what? The six sense bases. And what are they? Sight, smell, all right, taste, sound, touch, and thoughts. So no two people will have the same impression of this Dharma sharing. Our experiences will be different, and these experiences constitute our world, and this world exists in our mind. It is not the mind, okay? All right, it is the mind, not the body, that we will see us from existence to existence. But we often take our minds for granted. Remember, body only one life, huh? Mind, life to life. Why do I say we take the mind for granted? Throughout our lives, we look after our bodies very well, right? We provide this body with shelter and food. We keep this body clean and clothed. We exercise it. And when this body falls ill, we see a doctor and get medication for it. And we rest this body every night. And how about the mind? How do we look after our mental well-being? To the majority of people, this actually means feeding it with sense pleasures to keep it happy. The mind is always craving for these and craving for that. And we have negative feelings. What do? We resist them, suppress or ignore the emotions. We replace our unhappiness with more sense pleasures or vent our anger or frustration on someone else, especially the person whom we perceive as being responsible for our unhappiness, right? So we offload our grievances or sorrows on the willing listener, right? But if you know the Dharma, you know that anger is punishing yourself for another person's mistake. So a lot of people believe that in doing all these, right, we are actually protecting the mind. We also believe in stimulating the mind by feeding it with all kinds of information, educating it, training it to have higher order thinking skills, to think out of the box, etc. We also multitask, right? And we are so proud of our multitasking skills. Example, we can read the papers, watch television, and eat all at the same time. In fact, we exercise our mind by thinking profusely throughout the day. And we have been thinking ever since we were very small and innumerable lifetimes before that. According to some research, as many as 98% of our thoughts are exactly the same as we had the day before. Why? Because we are creature of habit. We are just creatures of habit. An even more significant fact is that 80% of our thoughts are normally negative. Right? How many of you wake up in the morning feeling like, oh, what such good weather today? All right. I'm so blessed to be so healthy. All right. My partner is so kind. No, negative thoughts usually come to the mind first. So, my question to you, brothers and sisters, is this: are we looking after our minds the right way? That brings us to the next topic: why meditate? Now, only a meditator looks after his mind. A meditator, more specifically, all right, a Buddhist practitioner, because you know why, looks after the mind the right way. He protects the mind, he cleanses it, he exercises it, medicates it, and rests it with wisdom, morality, and concentration. Okay. Now, so why is bhavana important? Okay. First, we rest the mind. So let me ask you, is the mind resting when we sleep? Not really. The Chinese has an idiom, 日有所思,夜有所梦. Our thoughts throughout the day act as a fuel for our dreams at night. Most of the time, we forget about our dreams the moment we wake up. But the ones that we remember, are they mostly good dreams, bad dreams, or very busy dreams? Now, kilesas here refer to defilements. Now, I have a senior associate who worked for me quite a number of years ago. I wanted to promote her to partner. She was cool, calm, and collected all the time. She started waking up with jaw ache and was told by her doctor that she was grinding her teeth during sleep. Well, she admitted that the teeth grinding was actually due to stress. Outwardly, she appeared to control her emotions very well, but what she was actually doing was ignoring and suppressing her negative feelings and emotions. In the end, she had to quit and join the service. Now, what are these kilesas? Kilesas are lobha, dosa, moha in their various forms. What's that? Lobha is greed, that wanting, that mental state that drives us to pursue sense objects through our six sense bases, to experience pleasant feelings, isn't it? Wanting this, to eat this, always looking for pleasures. Now, hatred, the dosa, the aversion, is when we want something and we can't get it. It also arises when we resist unpleasant feelings. Correct? You wake up in the day, you think about, your mind start to go out chasing for things that are pleasurable and running away from activities or thoughts that are not pleasurable. Correct? And as long as we have a perception, all right, of the ego, we don't understand mind matter, we don't understand reality, we have moha, delusion. And all these three give rise to a whole spectrum of mental states, examples of which are shown here. We only fully let go of this self or this ego when we attain nibbana, which means that until then, we will continue to have greed, hatred, and delusion in our lives. It's just to what extent, all right? Even if we do not arise in response to suitable causes and conditions. In reality, even when we are sleeping, these three roots, all right, of, I will call three roots of evil, are still active. We may go on a holiday, right? But what goes on a holiday? The body or mind? We relax by watching television and chit-chatting, eating, exercising, and meeting up with friends. What relaxes? The body or mind? Only the body. The mind isn't getting a holiday. It isn't relaxing. It just thinks about something else. At work or holiday, right? At home or at play, there are still thoughts of past and future, thoughts of I like it, I don't like it, this is good, this is bad. I have this, I don't have this, this is mine, that is yours. Like the body, the mind also needs to rest. And the only time it can have a real rest is during meditation, when it stops active thinking and starts only experiencing. Now, next is to develop mind muscles. This is very important. Why do we need mind muscles? Now, this blank movie screen represents our mind. The picture here represents a situation in our life, which basically consists of a stream of thought moments. Yeah. So seeing the picture clearly like this means we have calmness and clarity of mind. When we have greed, lust, or passion, we have thoughts. We have thoughts that will be experienced through a haze of red. Can we see the picture as clearly? Same for other mental states like purple, I here represents jealousy. Sadness, I use blue. And when it increases, our ability to think clearly decreases. And when sunk into depression or caught up in a frenzy of hatred, we totally lose our ability to reason and think objectively. Now, brothers and sisters, a calm mind can think, an angry mind also can think, an anxious mind can also think, but the thoughts are all different. This is what happens when our thoughts are colored by all these mental states. When we allow ourselves to be guided by defilements instead of the Dharma, our lives become a soap opera filled with drama, and this drama will never end as long as it's fueled by Loba, Dosa, Moha all the time. What is the higher happiness? Higher happiness is not the kind of happiness that's dependent on external factors. The higher happiness comes from your own response, and that is peace, tranquility, equanimity. All right? That is why we should never try to solve problems or conflicts when we are emotional. All right? Can we see our own defilements? Most of the time, no. I'm sure you have said this or heard other people say this at one time or another, right? You see, one important reason is this inbuilt defense mechanism in us that makes us refuse to acknowledge painful realities, thoughts, and feelings. We tend to pay attention only to pleasant experiences, and we choose not to see past the surface consciousness to the negativities that are buried under pleasant thoughts. Let's see how meditation can help us. Now, throughout our lives, our body breathes and our mind thinks, correct? So what do we pay attention to? Normally, we're just paying attention to our thoughts, not the breath. During meditation, we have to pay attention to the meditation object or the theme of contemplation. And most people will choose the in-breath and the out-breath. So to switch our attention from our thoughts to our breath and apply continuous attention to it is very tough. And moreover, the mind has been doing what it wants for the longest time. And to get it untrained, to get an untrained mind to follow instructions can be near impossible. That is why it takes a long time for the mind to come down during meditation, simply because it goes against our nature, or rather, our habitual tendencies. However, each time we practice meditation, we are actually exercising restraint because we keep pulling the mind back from the outside world. We are doing skillful work, right? Because we are learning to let go of thoughts, all right, that stem mostly from Loba, Dosa, and Moha. That means we are training the mind not to think when we do not want to think. Many of us do not want to have grudges, isn't it? You don't want to remember certain things, but sometimes it's difficult to let go. So if you have strong mental muscles, you can easily let go. When you're meditating, sitting there, you're training mind again, your mind not to think when you do not want to. So with practice, meditation becomes easier. and the mind calms down more quite quickly. We stay in the present moment awareness when we put attention on the body during meditation. The body is here and now. It doesn't belong to the past or the future, unlike the mind, which is always thinking about the past and planning for the future. So this mindfulness training leads to better awareness of both body and mind. So in our daily lives, we become more mindful of our thoughts, which in turn helps us to let go when we need to exercise restraint, and not get caught up in that one thing. We are less reactive to stimulus around us. We're calmer, right? And we do not easily, succumb to unskillful behavior. This is what morality is all about. Meditation has been shown to reduce stress, a negative mental state most of us suffer from. Now, MRI scans shows that after an 8-week course of mindfulness practice, the brain's flight or fight center, the amygdala, appears to shrink. As the amygdala shrinks, the prefrontal cortex becomes thicker. What happens is this. During meditation, we keep pulling our attention away from our thoughts, which includes stress-inducing thoughts. Remember, thoughts are part of the mind. Thoughts do not equate the mind. So with practice, the mind will become more and more skilled at letting go of such negativities in the mind. This means that the amygdala is not stimulated as often, causing it to shrink. In short, we develop what we call mind muscles. With stronger muscles, the mind does not get so easily disturbed and is less impulsive. So it is better in restraining unskillful thoughts, speech, and action. It confronts and solves problems more calmly, objectively, and therefore more effectively, isn't it? All right, you're happier, more positive, more peaceful. Brothers and sisters, your life is really what your mind makes it out to be. So when you look at the Buddha statue, all right, Buddha statue, how do you know what is the iconographic feature of the Buddha? It's the posture. The posture is usually in samadhi, peaceful and calm, eyes closed, all right? Emphasis is on mental cultivation. The third reason why we should meditate is because it's so much easier to develop wholesome states of mind. Less dukkha, less suffering, isn't it? We can nurture these wholesome mental states with techniques like metta bhavana, loving kindness meditation. Even simple samatha or calmness meditation can bring out empathy and compassion in us. People whose mind are more wholesome, right, is less caught up in the ego and therefore less suffering. And the mind is more open to reality. Well, Dr. David Satano, the professor in psychology, was one of the first to look specifically at the relationship between meditation and compassion towards others. In his experiment, 20 participants were trained in meditation over an 8-week period that included weekly classes and home practice with guided recordings. 19 were put through this meditation bootcamp. He and his team of researchers then staged a scene in the waiting room whereby an injured person entered but has no place to sit. They wanted to see who among the meditators and non-meditators will show compassion by giving up their seat to this injured person. Added to this group were actors who intentionally ignored the injured person, which tends to put social pressure, right, on the others to do the same. Something known as the bystander effect. The experiment did not have a large number of test subjects, but the results showed a marked difference in response between meditators and non-meditators. This led Dr. Satano to make this conclusion. Meditation practice therefore helps to overcome unwholesome mental states and nurture the wholesome ones like these. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha is known as the four sublime states or the Brahma Viharas. You will find these four sublime states of mind mentioned very frequently in the suttas. Sublime means between good and pure. Okay? So at its purest, what it means metta, it means generosity and openness of the heart that sends out goodwill to all beings without exception. Metta means it doesn't have preferences or expectations, nor does it judge or criticize. Metta also means kindness and patience towards ourselves. That means you don't get easily impatient, you don't get angry easily because your heart is open. A mind with metta is actually not easily shaken, very calm. Now, karuna is a mental quality that motivates us to help relieve the suffering of others. This is why compassion is shown and not just felt. And if we have this quality kind of mental state in our mind, trust me, you have very good, happy marriage. You have good relationship with people. You always start at home. Mudita is also translated as altruistic joy, empathetic joy, or unselfish joy that arises in response to another person's happiness, success, or good fortune. If you're happy because of other people's good fortune and happiness, you are happy all the time, isn't it? So metta, karuna, and mudita, which comes as subjective states of mind, is reined in by what? Haha, upekkha, right? It gives them balance of mind because it doesn't take sides with the good or the bad, the pleasant or unpleasant. It is a mind that is calm and impartial and does not react impulsively. It is a mind that accepts things as they are. Now, the fourth reason why we should meditate, because you cultivate joy and happiness. Mind is the forerunner of all states. Mind's their chief. Mind made are they. If with a pure thought, one should either speak or act. Because of that, happiness follows, as one's shadow never departed. This is the Dhammapada verse number 2. Now, wholesome mental states, when translated into speech and action, creates joy and gratification, not just in ourselves, but in others too. For meditators who have developed more sensitivity to the mind, this is always experienced as a lightness of being. You feel your mind is always very light. Then there's joy and happiness that come from stillness, from samatha or calmness meditation, which leads to us living happily in this very life. Now, the Buddha describes it as a spiritual rapture and happiness. It is lighter, more refined, than what can be obtained through sense pleasures, which are grosser forms of happiness, right? Let's say, for example, you get very happy when you eat char kway teow. If I let you eat char kway teow every day, trust me, it's impermanent. You will get sick of it, right? So the mind, craving begets craving. The mind does not settle down so easily. The mind goes out into the mental space of society. It's very hard to unplug it. So your mind is constantly looking for sense pleasures. You like, okay, I heard about the Squid Game. I haven't watched it. But if I'll ask you to watch the Squid Game the second time, the third time, or some Korean drama series the second or third time, would you still be interested? Can you see how the mind works? When you still the mind and calm the mind down, the kind of happiness that comes is one that is not dependent on external circumstances. You do not need to eat happy, delicious Michelin star restaurant food to be happy. You do not need to listen to music to be happy. You're just happy here and now. Now, when we meditate, we benefit in all four areas at the same time. It doesn't come one after another. I just organize them into four separate functions to make it easier to understand. Everyone can meditate and benefit from it, right? The Hindus meditate, Christians meditate. People who work and do yoga also meditate, right? Buddhist practitioners understand why you have to meditate, understand that we are just made up of mind and body. And when you do vipassana, when you go to samadhi, you realize there is no soul. Okay, so we Buddhist practitioners take it one step further. We meditate to liberate the mind. Now, our Dharma training is aimed at insight wisdom, that realization, that fruition. The Pali term is Yathabhutasana Dasana, is often mentioned in the suttas. It means knowledge and vision of things as they are. Realizing this truth is the ultimate objective of our training on the Noble Eightfold Path. How does meditation help us to acquire this wisdom? Mind muscles from meditation helps us to let go of our defilements, right? And to obtain calmness, clarity, and stability of the mind, without which we cannot see the Dharma. Joy develops when there is moral purity, right? You need to have morality, right? If you just you're always jealous of somebody, you are cruel, you just scolded somebody, that kind of mind, it's hard to sit down and meditate. Okay. Now, so you have this joy, mental joy, that's still mind. The Buddha said it's very important for that kind of mind to see the Dhamma. Because if you don't have that kind of mind, you can't see the Dhamma. So meditation therefore prepares the mind to perceive the true nature of mind and body through direct experience. Mind work also includes mental exercises where we contemplate on the real nature of our existence. Okay, let me just say, I say you're made up of mind and body. Right now is theoretical knowledge. Okay, for those of you who have gone into samadhi, you see mind and body. There is no soul. You see how the mind, mental consciousness runs from one sense organ to another. You see contact. You see how craving arises, and you will see that thoughts is part of the mind and not the other way around. And what's important, you see the mind and know what the mind is. All this comes from direct experience, not theoretical knowledge. You also reflect on the 32 parts of the body. All right. You help us to see body as it reduces our attachment to it. Remember, even while I'm talking to you guys, we're all aging. All right. Up to the time when the heart stops beating, we don't want to die, also must die. So we have no absolute control of this body. This body is not yours. Well, you have to realize that. Theoretically, you find it very, very difficult. Right. Now, we can also do such contemplations in our daily life. We can also mindfully observe our own body, its changes and deterioration. We also observe everything else that's happening around us and see all of them in the light of the three universal characteristics: impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and not self, because you have full control. There's nothing in this entire universe that we have full control, is it not? We can't control tsunami, we cannot control the traffic. I already told you, right? This body also, we don't have full control. You don't want COVID, you gonna, then if you don't want to get fat after eating, it also will gain weight. So the only thing that we have control over is what? That's why it's important to have right view, right? It's the way we think. So this kind of contemplation exercise is not the same as, all right, okay, as intuitive insights that arises when the mind is ready for Dharma. So you do marling, you contemplate, but I'm talking about realization. But it is something that we can and should do outside formal meditation. Study the Dhamma, all right? So you sow the seeds for wisdom to take place. And it creates the causes and conditions for insight wisdom, called fruition. So you don't get upset easily when things do not go your way. You know the Dhamma. You don't ask why like this, why like that, because you know you have no full control of external circumstances. This deconditioning is important because we have been conditioned since birth by culture and tradition, religious doctrines, and personal experience that shape our views and beliefs. And we have a tendency to cling to these views. Okay. How many times have you gotten angry or defensive when somebody does not agree with your views and opinions? So meditation deconditions our mind, reduces the sense of self, the ego. So when the ego is reduced, the mind is not so hard. It becomes more malleable, more receptive to the truth. Right? We see thoughts are part of the mind and not the mind. We see how it rises and falls. We see how thoughts of craving depresses the mind. Right? So we need to meditate. In samadhi, we see reality. So with mental cultivation, we gradually let go of our craving, that wanting, that clinging. A lot of suffering in life comes from the craving, right? I want, I want, I want, I want. If only people know how to say, I don't want. This kind of training is called vipassana. This is Pachadang Veditabu Vidyu Hiti in the Dhamma Vandana. What it means is the Dhamma is to be experienced individually by the wise. Wisdom in the Buddhist practice starts with theoretical knowledge and understanding because we need a map to show us where to go. But true wisdom accumulates through Dhamma investigation and direct experience. So liberation of a mind is an aspect of meditation that is very unique to Buddhism. Now, mindfulness of breathing is most frequently used for meditation. Most teachers will tell you to pay attention to the spot where the breath touches the upper lip or at the place where the air enters your nostrils. Other teachers tell you to watch your breathing at the abdomen and less commonly at your chest area and even to the whole body breathing. Okay, because it comes from this sutta, the Anapanasati Sutta. But one has to bear in mind, this Anapanasati Sutta, when Buddha gave the discourse, it was to a group of bhikkhus, not lay people. And bhikkhus at that time, they renounced to join the Buddha. Their aim is Nibbana, right? And most of them had already gone into samadhi. Most of them are like second or third or fourth jhanas. Okay, so it's not so easy for lay people to just put attention at the breath straight away. But that's why we need to choose the comfortable meditation object. So when mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, it fulfills the four foundations of mindfulness, right? So the main discourse of the four foundations on mindfulness is the Satipatthana Sutta and the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Now, I just quickly, because today's talk is generally introducing why meditation is important. But if you know the suttas, these are the four aspects that we have to be mindful of. You start with the body. Okay. So contemplation of the body first because it's easiest to see the form. Breathing is part of form because it is the wind element of matter. Right? The fact that we have to be mindful of our bodily actions and movements show that mental cultivation happens outside formal meditation as well. Okay? And at each moment, our life is experienced as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Just three types of feelings. On its own right, feeling is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. It is how we react that gives this mental factor of feeling so much importance. Mindfulness of feelings help us become aware of the mind's habitual reaction to these three kinds of feelings that condition the various actions in our life. A lot of people, when you don't cultivate your mind, get caught up in feelings, very easily get caught up, and then suffer. Then, of course, contemplation of mental states. All right, all these things, you do that when you are meditating, when you're in samadhi, you can see this clearly. And then, of course, the dhammas, you study these topics. All right, all these will be many, many, many talks. Takes time to learn. All right, and then some people use kasina as meditation objects, using elements, colors, and space and light. All right, and there are many other types of meditation. Like in the commentaries, you have 40 types of meditation. You look at the 10 objects of convulsion, 10 recollections, 4 sublime states, 4 formless states, recollection of loathsomeness of body, the food, and analysis of the 4 elements, earth, water, fire, and air. Now, for lay, all right, we just need to do the 4 protective meditations for a start. Okay, first, recollection of the qualities of the Buddha. Okay, you use that as a meditation object to anchor the mind to the present moment. It protects against doubt and generous confidence and faith, known in Pali as saddha. This is a very powerful mental state where the Buddha listed as non-negotiable factor that comes first in our Dharma training. He's not saying you pray to me, everything is fine. The Buddha is saying that you need to have confidence in the teachings, all right, so that you can learn, practice, and realize yourself. Everything he says he taught, you can also realize. Then you do metta bhavana, loving kindness that counters ill will and hatred. When I first started, because of the nature of my job, I started with metta, and I did 8 months of metta. I do nothing else but metta bhavana. And I got into quite good samatha, and I was in the door of samadhi just using metta. Okay? So we also contemplate the unattractive nature of the body, reduces attachment to our bodies, and lust for others. Right? So you see the reality of this body. So when you age, you don't suffer. You can accept that reality. So when you get sick because of old age, you're mentally, you see reality, your mind don't suffer along with your body. The body is just physical pain. It's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral kind of feelings. But it's usually the mental reaction to the bodily aging that gives rise to intense dukkha. Then you contemplate death. We reflect on the inevitability and unpredictability of death. All right, you can do death meditation. This kind of reflection makes us take stock of our life. And in doing so, we will find that our problems do not seem that big, right? Or urgent. Our grudges and jealousies will appear very petty. And we will be more inclined towards forgiveness. People we normally take for granted will feature higher in our priority list. In essence, mindfulness of death is a constant reminder to live life more meaningfully. All right? In summary, the breath is taught as the main meditation object in the suttas because it is the simplest and has been the heart of meditation since ancient times. But it is obvious from the suttas that he also taught many other types of meditation practices to suit different types of people. It is important to find a meditation object, a way of practice that is right for us. Let us see what Sangha teachers say. MC, can I trouble you to read the next slide, please? Tropi?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You can read.
Okay. Actually, the slide is not up, so there's only types. Okay. All right. When you start meditation, you can begin with any method at all because they all lead to the same results. The reason there are so many methods is because people have different tendencies. That is why there have to be different images to focus on or words to repeat, such as Buddha or Arahan, as means of giving the mind a point around which to gather and settle down as the first step. Whichever method is used, it should suit one's character, for characters differ, and to teach that everyone should use only one type of meditation will well prove to be a hindrance to some people, thus preventing their attaining beneficial results from their practice.
Okay, this is from Ajahn Mahabua. Let's hear a Burmese teacher.
People who are awareness-oriented, people who are very alert, sharp, very aware, should spend more time practicing awareness. People who have very good concentration can begin by doing samatha and then switch to vipassana. Faith-oriented people can start by contemplating the qualities of the Dharma, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha taught so many kinds of practices because there are so many different kinds of personalities.
Okay. True, the meditation method is important, but whether our meditation is effective or not, fruitful or not, It's not so much the object, right? But the mindfulness itself. Without mindfulness, our meditation will go nowhere. Mindfulness means you're aware at any point of time. You are aware of what your mind is doing and what your body is doing. All right? It's not caught up in the sankhara, the thoughts, right? Lastly, I'm just going to quickly just tell you the difference between samatha meditation and vipassana. Now, wisdom here refers to vipassana and concentration refers to samatha. And also for samadhi, I'll touch on this later. However, some Sangha teachers feel that the word concentration can be misleading because people tend to associate concentration with intense focus, which in Dharma training is actually incorrect. So other words like collectedness or centeredness are sometimes used instead. The Buddha says that both samatha and vipassana need to be cultivated if we want to be enlightened. Let us look at samatha first. Okay. Now, samatha practice is aimed at making the mind steady, still, settle the mind down, unify the mind, right? Collected, and compose the mind, which means makes it calm. Based on what the Buddha said, we have the definition of samatha as the practice of calming and stilling the mind. Refers to the calmness and collectedness of mind that results from such meditation practices, samadhi. Samatha meditation is also known as concentration, tranquility, or serenity meditation. Okay, so we need samadhi. Okay, from samatha we go to samadhi. Is a state of mind that is suitable for Dharma investigation work. All right, that's when you see the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path say right concentration, right? This is what I'm talking about. So how do we practice samatha? Let us use mindfulness of okay. First, you need to have initial application. Okay, you need to have vitakka. Vitakka means like a bird flying towards a flower. Vichara is like the bird hovering around the flower. So you have a meditation object, right? You give it initial application and then sustained application. That means you are just aware. Your mind is just around your meditation object. So vitakka is like a tarnished mental plate. And vichara is like a hand polishing the tarnished plate. This is an example given by Bhikkhu Bodhi. The third example is given by Ajahn Suchito. Vitakka is like hand picking up an apple. Vichara is like admiring it and turning around and appreciating the apple. So in short, vitakka is the mental factor that applies the mind to the object. And vichara performs the function of examining the object mindfully and anchoring the mind to the object. So let's say, for example, if I'm guiding you the meditation, okay, then I'll use my voice to help you all to center the mind to the body if I use the body as a meditation object. So when we start meditating, thoughts will keep evading our mind. We have to keep bringing the mind back to the breath with vitakka. And every time after we establish vitakka, vichara takes over. So there's vitakka, then vichara, then vitakka, then vichara, and so on, until vichara becomes more firmly established. So we have to understand how the mind works. We cannot fast forward the process. We have to let the mind quiet down on its own. Now, Bante Ji, Bante Gunaratana, is a very well-respected bhikkhu, said that if we learn nothing else from meditation, we will learn patience, and patience is the key. As we settle deeper into meditation, we will experience piti and sukha. Now, piti usually comes in the form of pleasant bodily sensations, like flush or tingling feeling. All right, I mean, differs with different people, but it gives confidence and energy to the mind. Sukha, on the other hand, is a softer and more refined experience of comfort and well-being. It is happiness of peace and relief, like you just have gotten rid of this heavy burden. And with these four factors of vitaka, vichara, piti, and sukha, all right, the mind becomes unified. Together, you are in samadhi. All right. Now, next I go on to vipassana. And when you're in samadhi, this is the time to do dhamma investigation. Vipassana refers to insight and methods of contemplation or investigation. Meditators investigate the three characteristics of conditioned existence, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Vipassana meditation is also known as insight meditation or process meditation. Now, we turn our minds inwards, right, to see all physical and mental phenomena in the light of the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, right? To understand that it's really nothing worth clinging to. So there are different levels of vipassana practice. And it doesn't mean that if you cannot meditate well, you can practice vipassana. Right? Now, what here means that a lot of people do vipassana meditation, okay, but the mind is still not still. Then you sit there and get caught up in thinking that you're meditating when you're not. You can practice vipassana before samatha and vice versa for lay people. But because as lay people, staying in this mundane world where the causes and conditions may not be so conducive, it's always best to do samatha first. Calm the mind first before you can do vipassana. All right? Now, is this familiar? This is the Four Noble Truths, right? So where do we find samatha and vipassana? In the Eightfold Path. The first Noble Truth is about dukkha, about the truth of suffering. The second Noble Truth is about the cause of suffering. The third Noble Truth is about cessation of suffering. And the fourth Noble Truth is the path leading to the cessation of suffering. The Buddha, he said, I teach essentially two things. What is suffering and how to get rid of it. Right? Now, he gives you the formula in the fourth Noble Truth. And you can see here, right? Things to be developed by dialectic knowledge is serenity and insight. So I'm going to flash you the Noble Eightfold Path. So vipassana training relates to wisdom. Each time we practice vipassana, we accumulate wisdom. Now, this Noble Eightfold Path is the formula given by the Buddha. Right? Now, but remember, we need intellectual wisdom first, right? The knowledge and understanding of the Buddha's teachings. So we know how to apply them to our practice. So samatha practice falls within samadhi. The term samadhi has a much broader definition here. It refers to a whole range of mental training. What we saw earlier, right, under the definition of samatha, is samadhi in relation to right concentration. So everything comes together in a package. And morality provides the foundation for the cultivation of samatha and vipassana. The purer one's conduct, the purer one's mind. Most people underestimate the importance of sila. A jealous person can't sit down and meditate very hard. A person who holds grudges also find it very hard to cultivate the mind. Okay, so the strengthening of sila and samadhi in turn supports the development of insight wisdom through vipassana practice. So you can see wisdom, morality, and concentration are interdependent and interrelated and overlap with one another. So when the Buddha gave the first discourse, the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he says 8 paths. He didn't say 3. All right, everything comes in a package. You can't just pick and choose which one you like. We'll end this topic with some words of wisdom from Sayadaw Tejayani. Can I have MC to read this, please? The real value of meditation is not in getting such results, however enjoyable they may be. The real value of meditation is the actual process of being aware and understanding what is happening. The process is important, not the result. We practice meditation because we want to understand. So let's say, for example, you're meditating here right now. Okay. And I'm going to stop share. So you're meditating and you say, oh, I must get samadhi. I must get samadhi. Why is my meditation like this or like that? The craving comes about. And the moment you have that craving, you're doing it wrong. So when you're meditating, you're seated there. You are just, mind is just being at present moment, enjoying being at now with no one thing. Okay? Right? Your mind travels, bring it back. Open to the reality of here now. Okay? So this is the end of my Dharma sharing. I try to not keep it, extend it beyond 45 minutes because I'm sure all of you must be pretty tired. So I'm open to questions. Yeah, if you can switch on your video, it'd be nice because then I can look at faces if it's convenient. All right. Any questions?
Right, Siew Fong, thanks so much for the talk. Maybe if I can just kick off with a question, right? How important is it to have jhana? Like, is it
No. When I say samadhi, I mean the first level of concentration. You can use the word jhana. All right. Now, I don't like to use the word jhanas because it's it connotes something mystical and something impossible to achieve. I use the words that is used in the suttas. All right. I prefer to say samadhi. Basically, it's just vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha. Okay.
And, yeah,
So
right.
you need to look at the 4 factors. All right. It's important to have samadhi. Then that's when you see your mind. It's not that difficult. Most people, they go for meditation retreats, 7 days without the phone. Without the phone. All right. You take the phone with you to a meditation retreat. Your body is in Thailand, your mind in Singapore. All right. So to me, it's not difficult. You just have to build the causes and conditions for it. That's when you really see the mind and know what the mind is. And if you don't meditate during daily, you don't have daily practice, then let me tell you what's going to happen. When you go to meditation retreat, 7 days, it takes the mind on average, even for somebody who meditates, about 4 days to get it really quiet. So if you have not been practicing, you go for a retreat. By the time you're ready, the mind quietens down, it's time to leave already. And I would recommend an 8 precept retreat, not a 5 precept. You need to have noble silence. You come in, oh, hi, then after that, 5 precept, eat dinner, sit down, chit chat. Forget it, wasting time. Okay, so this is for people who are serious. If let's say, for example, you don't think you can get into samadhi, it doesn't matter. The fact that you're meditating already, you are already building all little nuggets of merits. You are accumulating that you're planting your roots. Okay, and if you just continue your practice, one day you find it so much easier to still the mind. And then you start, okay, when you first start out, it's like, I meditate because I need to. Okay, that's how I started out. I did metta for 8 months because I need to. All right. Later on, it becomes you meditate because you want to. That's when you know that you have achieved. Understand? Yeah. But it's worth it. Okay, you find yourself becoming more calm, more peaceful, able to exercise restraint. So even comes to diet and food. Okay, you have pig trotters in front of you, lots of fats, no nutritional value, right? Because you've been meditating, you know, I eat what my body needs. I don't eat according to mental craving. This is just mental craving. Poison. 卖价了. You start realizing your mental muscles are getting stronger and stronger and better and better. Even if samadhi is not important, no, I don't care. I don't think I can get that. But you will see improvement. Okay, because you say, look, I just want the higher happiness of peace and tranquility. I'm not trying to aim for fusion or sotapan or whatever, the kind of. So to me, I don't give yourself this stress that I have to go to the jhana. If you want to go to jhana, trust me, you won't get it because there's craving. Understand? So like, for example, you've gone for retreat. Your mind is quieter. Then when you come out of retreat, then you start realizing, hey, why so noisy, all this sound? You start to be more contented, right? COVID or no COVID, you're just happy being at home. No big deal. Your sense of contentment is very strong. You understand? Then when you have craving, you can actually see your mind. The craving, this energy is very strong. You're very sensitive to the mind. That's all these nuggets of insights that you will get. But you must practice lah. There's no shortcut. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm so clear. No questions. Oh, that's very good.
Sister, can I ask one
Sure,
question?
sure, Marcel.
Thanks, sister, for the sharing. So I recall sister also mentioned that sister goes to meditation retreat regularly. So I'm also looking for one. So can I have some recommendation?
I organize my retreats actually.
Oh,
I actually organize my own retreats and I put it on Facebook and I usually about 50, 60 people coming. But I'm very strict. I confiscated all the phones.
yeah.
I take up all the phones. 8 precept, very, very strict. 1 meal a day. No food after 12. We practice like the Thai Theravada, Thai Forest Sangha.
Yes,
We practice, but right now COVID can't organize. But there's a retreat coming. I strongly recommend you. It's Zoom retreat, 3 days called Buddha Mass on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, 3 full days. All right, by Long Po Viradamo.
Oh, okay.
My favorite teacher. Actually, he's one of my favorites. But actually now ranked favorite. Okay, I've organized retreats with him. Attended 3 physical retreats, but he's going to do one. I need you all to. I'm going to type it out. You go to this website, Buddha Dharma Foundation website or Facebook. All the registration details are there. I strongly recommend this retreat. So in these 3 days, it's in the chat. Buddha Dhamma is one word. For these 3 days, please, this retreat is called Buddha Mass. Okay. Now, for these 3 days, keep your phones. All right. So I'm participating in the retreat myself. I'm actually going to be in my room. I really miss a retreat. I just need a mental holiday. And I'm just going to be in my room and then I'm just going to be in my room. Okay. And I'm just come out for my meal. I eat alone and then after I go back. And it's so rejuvenating. See whether you can. If you can't do it the whole day because you're staying with so many people in the house, it's all right. Try half day lah. Do the live. The morning and night is the live because Long Po is in Canada. So afternoon session is recordings, but the morning sessions and night sessions are actually live. He gives guided meditation. It's quite good. It's just 3 days for Christmas. So what do Buddhists do during Christmas? We join Buddha Mass. So I recommend that. All right.
Okay, thanks, sister. And for your own organized retreat, how do we keep track of that? Is it on your Facebook? Or...
I don't have a Facebook. I don't social media. I mean that is true. It's true. Never mind. If I do have retreats in future, I'll inform you guys.
Okay.
I'll do inform you guys, but I don't think it's anytime soon because the Thai forest tradition, the teachers are all very old. We just cannot expose them and take the risk.
Yes.
So already stopped. Haven't organized anything, but do the Zoom retreat. Harder lah, but no choice. No choice. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, sister.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, sister.
Yes.
Thank you for the.
No, welcome.
I'd like to know whether can I join for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday? Because
Why not?
Friday,
Just register.
Yeah.
Register and just join for 2 days.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. Because
yeah.
Friday, I don't think I'll be able to join.
Yeah, just join Saturday and Sunday. Every opportunity you get to meet what they call well-practiced teacher. Every time you listen to a Dhamma talk, you will benefit. Every time you sit down and close your eyes and follow the guided meditation. It is, as I said, you're accumulating nuggets. nuggets of merits. You are deconditioning the mind, decondition. So initially when you meditate, right, it's like 80% thinking, 20% stillness. So the mind, start to think about something. The mind will hold on to that thought and will run from India to China to Korea and Japan, go one round and come back. Then suddenly you realize, hey, what the hell? I'm meditating. Why my mind drifting? Then after you meditated for some time, you realize that the moment it goes from India to China, you come back faster already. So it'd be like 50% thinking, 50% stillness. That's very good already. Understand? This mind has been thinking since time memorial, previous lives also. That's why it's a human birth. So don't understand it's 50%, very good already. You're progressing. And every time when you meditate, how do you know mindfulness come back to the forefront? Let's say, for example, I'm meditating. I think about my friend Jane. Then you say, hey, I wonder how Jane is doing. How come she's not contacted me for a while? I wonder whether the children are okay. Then suddenly you go, alamak, I'm meditating. What the hell am I thinking about Jane? That alamak means you're mindful already. You know exactly what you are thinking. You're back at the present moment. So every time you meditate, your mind comes back. It is a moment of celebration. You're very happy. Oh, I managed to come back. Well done. And also, please remember when you meditate, don't use the breath. I don't like people to try to use the breath because a lot of people sit there and start controlling the breath and tension all over the body. Right? Use a big meditation object to anchor the mind. Okay. Now, do you all right, now it's only 2:37. Do you want to do a short meditation with me where I guide you all?
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
All right, shall I do that?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Mr. Siew Fong, before to that, I have a question.
Yeah.
That I don't have the time to sit down and meditation. Can I just to be mindful of my mind during when I'm awake?
Very hard. Why is it
Yeah.
you don't have time? You make time, right? You see, we spend time bathing, right? 10 minutes. All right. If you have time to shower and the body is less important than the mind, I'm sure you can also find 10 minutes to meditate. We must prioritize. We spend too much time on the body. All right. We shower, we exercise, we like cream it and moisturize it and feed it sorts of vitamins and all that. We must give some time to the mind. You find time. Because if you don't meditate and put mindfulness in the forefront deliberately, at least in your practice, that is really, really very difficult for you to just watch your mind the whole day. The practice must start. You'll be better. All right? Start with you meditate before you sleep. For example, you can just calm the mind down, be very aware, shut it down, so you don't have to watch television until your mind is so tired and sleep. Most people just don't want to sleep. Must keep the mind is still searching to be entertained, watch TV, watch under so bloody tired, and go sleep. No, you shut your mind down deliberately. It's time to sleep. I sit down and I meditate. You can find time. You can find time. So to me is try. All right. So why don't I give you a short 10-minute or so meditation or so? Then are you all ready to do that? You all need a 5-minute break or what? No need, Can All right, right. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, can you all now I would like you all to just close your eyes. Just listen to my voice and just close your eyes. All right, I would like you all to take a deep breath in. Breathe in. And I want you to hold your breath. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. And then release. Releasing the shoulders as well as your breath. Breathe in again. Hold your breath. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. And let go all. Let go. Breathe in again. Leave your shoulders up to your ears. Hold your breath and relax. Let go of your shoulders. Let go of your breath. Right. Now, are you comfortable? Be very comfortable. Whether you're seated on the ground or on the chair. So whatever posture that you are working with, please establish a posture that expresses alertness and physical presence. So you have a sense of vitality and also a sense of ease. Adjust your body in terms of symmetry and comfort. Okay. I would like you to bring awareness to your body. Make adjustments so you can find the balance between calmness and alertness, effort and ease. Right here and right now, that is all that matters. So we are going to take refuge in this body and use relaxation as a meditation object to anchor our minds to the present moment. We cannot feel a body that is in the past, nor in the future. So when your mind is with the body now, you know that you are at present moment. So just be guided by my voice, right? And so we start by focusing on your toes. Imagine every nerve and muscle softening your toes and then your feet. Then spread the calming warmth to your calves and up to the knees. Relax your thighs, your quads, and your hamstrings, allowing your legs to feel like they are melting into the place that they are now resting. The river of comfort flows upwards. Please relax your hip muscles. Let the warmth flows up to your belly. All right. Place attention at your belly, at your navel. Can you feel the rise and the fall of your belly? Be aware of the rise and the fall. Now I would like you to relax the muscles at your abdominal area. Relax your intestines, your stomach, kidneys, and liver. Relax your organs. Now I would like you to place your attention at your belly, your navel. Can you feel the pulsation there? If you're very relaxed and your mind is relatively quiet, you should be able to feel the pulsation. But if you can't, it doesn't matter. Use the rise and the fall of your belly as a meditation object to anchor the mind to the present moment. I would like you now to bring your attention up to your shoulders and lift the burden off them. Feel the shoulders get lighter and lighter and freer. I would like you to just massage your chest area. Any tightness at your chest area? Can you feel your heartbeat? If your mind is quiet enough, your body is relaxed, you should be able to feel your heartbeat. That's the biggest pulse. If you can't, it does not matter. Just use the rise and the fall of your chest as a meditation object to anchor your mind to the present moment. Mind quiet. Shh. Deepen the relaxation and allowing the feeling of calm to soften your entire face. Let go of the tension between your eyes, your jaw, your forehead, and to check to see whether your eyes are resting in the eye sockets and there is no tension. Please relax your brain area and the back of your neck. And scan the back of your body, awareness of your backbone, and to relax every vertebra one by one. Now I would like you to tuck in your core gently and straighten up as you do not want to slouch onto your lower back, causing it to strain. The posture has to be straight as we need a balance between calmness and alertness, effort and ease. Okay. Now I would like you to choose a meditation object, what you prefer. It can be your heartbeat, it can be the rise and fall of your chest, or the rise and fall of your belly, or the sensations of the whole body, or even the breath. Choose one that you are comfortable with. You can change your meditation object. As long as your mind is with the body, you know that you are at present moment. Now, brothers and sisters, if you have tension in your body and your mind is still noisy, it means that you are resisting the present moment. All right? If you don't resist the present moment, there should be no tension. Ease into this moment. You are devoting this precious time to the Buddha by practicing the Dharma. So your body and mind is having a vacation right now. When the mind is quiet, the body rids itself of tension from within. Mind quiet. Shh. Let go. Let go of your restlessness as the thoughts come and go. Don't entertain those thoughts. As long as you're aware that you are thinking, your mind returns to the present moment. Whenever you exercise that awareness to return, you are disciplining your mind and changing its natural tendencies to run and spin. As long as you can come back, you are doing good. There's no need to make any judgment. If your mind wanders in thought, just return to the object and begin again. Let go of thoughts in favor of the absorption of the here and now. Be aware of the sensations of breathing, be it through the pulsations, the breath at the nose, the rise and the fall of your chest, or through the sensations of the whole body. Mind quiet. The past is not important and the future has not come. Now being the most important time. Renounce the world and just devote the time to the Dharma practice. Right? Treasure the time now. Practicing with all your Kalyana meters. The more you practice becoming the observer, just be aware. The bigger the gap you create between stimulus and response. And this is a neutral mind, one that has no judgment. What you're doing right now is training the mind, bring forth your awareness so that the bigger the gap between stimulus and response. In the beginning, you will fall into gaps in between thoughts. But after practicing and cultivating for a while, you become the gap. A trained mind finds it easier to bring mindfulness to the forefront in your daily lives. You'll be less reactive to situations or people around you, and you feel more calm and peace. Mind quiet. Just be aware of your meditation object. You will learn that you are not the first thought that comes to your head. You are not the tension that instinctively arises when you're feeling a moment of anxiousness. You do not need to act on it. May I be well and happy. May I take care of myself happily. May I have full acceptance of situations as they are. May I be well and happy. You may open up your eyes when you are ready. Okay? All right. Do you know how long you guys have meditated? That was 19 minutes actually. Well done. Right? If you don't feel that it's so long, it's because your mind was quiet. Because the moment you have thoughts of the future, that's when it will feel very slow. All right. So well done. You guys did very well. I cheated. I know I said 10 minutes. But but since we have this time as well, right? Yeah. Okay. So you use this whole body. And let me tell you, ladies, don't sit down and start going to the breath or your meditation object. Even for me as an advanced meditator, I always start the first 10 minutes relaxing every part of my body. You always think your body is relaxed. It's never, because whenever there are thoughts, a lot of thinking, there will be tension. You got to let go. And let me tell you, this is a very good anti-aging exercise. All right. So for ladies, you want to preserve your youth, you should just keep doing this. You don't want all these pockets of tension all over the place. This is something I do every day. I meditate daily, and I always do this. I always check to make sure my whole body is relaxed. You are using mindfulness of the body, which is the first thing that's listed in the Satipatthana Sutta. Kayanu Pasana, the Buddha says, mindfulness of the body first. So you are using this whole body as a meditation object to anchor the mind to the present. Okay. Then after you've done that, then you choose your object. When you choose your object, it can be anything. It doesn't have to go straight to the breath because, must sit like that, It can be a comfortable seat, all right? Don't slouch, because the moment you start, you're too comfortable, you may just fall asleep. Sit away from the back, feet firmly planted on the floor, and give yourself a time. How many of you have Buddha altars in your house? You have Buddha altar. Yeah. For those of you who have an altar in the house, so you make an appointment with Buddha every morning, for example. All right. You don't miss appointments with your girlfriends and boyfriends. You just make an appointment with Buddha every day, 8 o'clock, for example, for 15 minutes. Right. And then you just sit there and meditate for 15 minutes. That's all, devoting that 15 minutes to the practice out of respect for the teacher. Can? All right. Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. You guys have been a wonderful audience for the last 1.5 hours. I know you must be very tired.
Thank you, sister, for your great sharing. I think we're actually quite energized, for that 20 minutes of meditation. I just feel like clearing the mind.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't start the day without meditation. It's like you make it as a very important part of your life. Take care of this mind first.
Exactly. Right. And I think your focus on the body scan was very good. I think you call it body scan, right?
I call it body scan.
Yeah, it's like so important, right? To anchor yourself in the present moment. Usually we just kind of jump into the breath.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Anti-aging also. So you're made out of mind and body. You look after both mind and body at the same time, lor. Because body affects mind. If your body has tension, it affects the mind. You find it harder to quieten down. And mind affects body. So closely interrelated.
Yeah. And then there was this part where you talk about the eye resting in the socket.
Sockets, yes.
Then I realized that I was like always like
Yes.
so tense,
yes.
right?
Then you don't keep having all these lines here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes we are so less aware. So be more aware of the body.
Okay. Maybe next time you can share with us your metta meditation, because I think you've been through a very intensive.
Yeah. I do metta because of my job. Don't underestimate metta meditation. I can go to court for very contentious hearing. I'm smiling. It doesn't mean I'm less effective. I'm just not bothered. I'm not easily affected. Yeah. So this is the end of the Dharma sharing. All right. I hope that you have takeaways. And the next time, I will arrange with Alvin if you let me know what are the topics that you would like to learn. Okay, then I can do some sharing, just depending on schedule and all. And can I share merits? Can we do sharing of merits? I think that's very important.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Before we share merits, can you all just please close your eyes? Close your eyes. Can you anchor your mind to the here and now? Mind quiet. Mindfulness to the forefront. By the grace of this merit that I have acquired from learning the Dharma and meditation, may I never associate with the foolish, but only the wise, up to the time I attain final happiness. And by the grace of whatever merits that I have acquired, may these be helpful to eradicate the defilements and to overcome all sufferings. May all the merits I have accumulated today be shared with my loved ones and also my departed relatives. May they be well and happy, and may they continue in a path towards the eradication of suffering. By the power of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, may all the Devas protect me. Sabe padanu dhammanu sanganu bhavina sadasoti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right. Okay. All right. So,
Sister, can we take a group photo?
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So everyone, please turn on your webcam for a group photo. Mark, Santibun, Swiling, Roy, Christine, Kenya, Sharon.
Never mind, the camera shy is okay too.
Okay. So, okay, I'll just take it. Everyone ready? I will take in 3, 2, 1. Okay, got it.
All right. Take care. Have a
Thank you
good
so much,
week.
sis.
Take care. Bye
Take care.
bye.
Thank you, everyone.